Hi there. Well, I made it to Clarenville Inn, it's easy for you to say, and because it's right on the side of the Trans-Canada Highway, I drove past it on my way out. And I must admit, I looked at it and thought, oh my God, it really does look like a rough motel from the outside, not to put too fine a point on it. So I was a little bit cautious of actually going there. But to be fair, it's absolutely brilliant. The staff are fabulous. They've still got very dodgy tasting carpets, but inside it's decorated beautifully. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. So I got settled, I had to go and do a little bit of shopping, and then I wanted to find somewhere for sunset. Tomorrow's plan is to go onto the Bonavista Peninsula, right up to the other end, which is Bonavista Lighthouse, and it's only about an hour and 40 minutes. So I think there's enough on that area to keep me occupied tomorrow. And I located a couple of places, and I'm probably going to get the names completely wrong. Snook Harbour and Shoal Harbour. I'd looked at them before I came out, when I was at home, and thought, yeah, they actually look quite nice for sunset and or sunrise. Now I know we're on the wrong side of the island really for sunset, but I knew that the clouds would light up if we had any, which we have. I don't know if you'll be able to make them out. Yeah, we've got some nice clouds up there. So I took a drive out, and I've driven up and down and round, and I've really struggled for composition. And the reason I'm looking around is I've realised the tide is actually coming in, so I'm trying to be a little bit sensible and just keep my eye on what's going on. It was just gone 7 o'clock. Sunset was 5 to 7, and at about 2 minutes past 7 I thought, shit, the sky is illuminating. I need to find somewhere. So in the end I thought, sod it, I'd seen this little bay, and I thought, right, I'm just going to go for a really minimal shot because I can't find anything of interest. Behind me there's some little, I think they're boat houses with houses behind them, and the drawback with those is the sky was lighting up over here. There was a bit of a pinky glow in the distance, but nothing major. So in the end I settled for a really minimal long exposure using the Lee 6-stop. I didn't need to use polarizer or anything, and I was going to show you what I'd done. However, see if I can get this to go the right way. Down here you can see the rocks. All out here, I can't get my arm to work in the right direction, all along here there was some seaweed bobbing about, and I thought, okay, the water was reflecting the sky brilliantly, so I thought, right, we'll just use a little bit of seaweed as a bit of foreground, and then we'll just go minimal, just purely to look at the reflections. And that's what made me realise the tide was coming in, because as I walked back, because I did try another composition over there but it didn't really work, as I walked back I thought, is that seaweed gone? Ah, right, best I be making tracks then. But it's a very difficult place to find with the limited amount of time I've got, even though I did do ridiculous amounts of research. I must have spent 3-4 weeks looking for places, but you can never really tell what they're like until you get here. If you go to the Lake District, you can find a lake and there's water and there's trees and there's clouds and there's reflections. You can be fairly confident that wherever you go, you're going to be able to come up with a decent composition. This is more industrial, and I suppose it's me. I want it to be pretty, and maybe that's not the right thing to do, because that doesn't reflect the area. But I can't help it, I like pretty photos. Soz. So it's not until you actually get here that you think, actually, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to shoot. On the plus side, I have found tomorrow morning's sunrise shot. The promise for tomorrow morning is more of what we've had today, which is ridiculously hot temperatures. It's been 20 degrees at one point today. Rocks winter trousers. So hopefully that shot will work in the morning. And I'm not too downhearted because I've had a good look around the place. As I say, it's not just a photography trip, it's my holiday, and it fascinates me how in the UK you have towns and cities and there's structure, and you'll know that there's a row of houses and another row of houses on the other side of the road, and you have lay-bys and you have tarmac roads and pavements, you have traffic lights at roadworks, all that type of thing. This is so different. The houses all seem to be modular or wooden. They're all very similar but all completely different, and I know that doesn't make any sense. They all look to be wood cladded, they're all painted different colours. Some are set quite close to the road, some are set back, some are really small, some are absolutely bloody massive with 2 entrance porches and a garage that's actually the size of my house. Roadworks are denoted by orange signs with little flags on and signs saying we're going to fine you maximum £1,500 if you break the speed limit, which everybody does, so obviously they don't. It's bizarre, but it's fascinating watching how other people, other continents operate. All sounds a bit arty-farty, that, doesn't it, and hoity-toity, but it is. I guess you've got to be there to understand what I'm saying. So anyway, as I'm starting to waffle, I am going to pack up, climb back up the embankment to the car, go home, have a cup of tea and have an early night, because tomorrow it's going to be a long day. Sunrise is 7:15, 7 o'clock? 7:15. Daybreak is 6:20, so I want to be down here for just before then. And it's not far, it's about 10-15 minutes. And then I'm heading off up the Bonavista Peninsula. There's certainly 2 lighthouses I want to call in at. I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to find some beaches, maybe do some long exposures on the shoreline. So I should be taking my sand feet and just see whatever else happens to come into view. But yeah, it's still been a good day, and I'll put my summer trousers on tomorrow, because these thermal winter ones are not much good in 18 degrees. Right, before I disappear altogether, have a good day. Catch you later, guys. Bye. I'm on the highway 230, I think it is, towards, it's eventually Bonavista, but initially I'm going to King's Cove because there's a lighthouse there. But on the way, you can see what the road's like. Oh yeah, that's the view behind. It's pretty much the same as most of these roads, fairly long, fairly straight, the odd twiddly bit, and it's lined on either side with incredibly dense forests. That's the direction I'm going in, that way. When I'm just stopping as and when I feel like it, and I've seen a couple of these little areas. I'm being a bit careful, it's quite steep. I've passed a few of these and not been able to stop because there hasn't been a pull-in. It's most bizarre. It's a little lake.
I thought you would have a flat tire, but...
Oh no, I'm fine, thank you. I'm just taking some photos.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for stopping.
Yes.
Hi. That was sweet of him. At the side of the walk roads, there are lakes occasionally, you can just see, and they're filled with dead trees. I know it's a bizarre thing, but they fascinate me. And as I say, I've passed a couple, and this is the first one I've actually had a chance to get down to. And because I'm not really feeling in the mood, I haven't shown you the setup. I've taken the camera back up. I did a couple of long exposures shooting out here, getting the V of the hillside coming down and then these trees. I used the Lee 10 stop, I used the polarizer, and again the high-tech 0.9 just to bring the sky exposure down slightly. I think I got a little bit of movement in the sky, but as you can see the sky is just being fairly bland. But the sun is coming in from over here, so it's picking up the silver and grey of these dead trees. It's very strange. So, onwards and upwards, I am carrying on towards King's Cove Lighthouse, which is a traditional lighthouse in that it's tall and thin. And I believe it's painted white. The one that I'm aiming for this evening, which is Bonavista, is unique from what I've ever seen, but for Newfoundland and Canada it seems to be the norm. But I'll tell you more about that when we see it.